Hello, everyone, and welcome to the episode 0 of Fandoms and Coffee. I am Cameron, one of your fabulous hosts for this morning. I am currently sipping on a lovely glass of coffee with cinnamon bun creamer in it. It's wonderful.
It's great.
And I
have the same one.
I am joined by my lovely wife.
Hi, I'm Luna. I'm going to be your other host for this entire ordeal that we're going to be going through.
So, a little quick backstory. Luna and I have actually been married for just over a month now. We've been together for a little over a year. And we had this brilliant idea of just talking about our fandoms, and
this show is a year in the making.
We've been working on this for about a year now. We've had a lot of hiccups. We've had some things happen here or there that made it a little more difficult. But we're finally in a position where we can finally record it. Yay!
Yay! We actually have the recording space and everything.
We do. It's wonderful. We're currently doing this from the luxury of our wonderful bedroom.
Well, to be fair, it's the most soundproof one in the house.
And it's comfy.
It really is. Anyway.
So, a little bit what we're going to be doing. A lot of what we wanted to do was we wanted a place where we could talk about our favorite shows, games, anime, whatever, our favorite things that make us nerds, and basically have a back and forth discussion on theories that we have, characters we love, have like a once a week ranking of, this is the episode we're talking about this week, here's the list of characters, who are your top 5 kind of deal.
And it'll be both done over polls and our own personal picks.
Yep. And once we actually stream our first episode, which will be very soon here, like in the next few days.
This one will be going up on our YouTube page.
We'll be putting this up on our YouTube, mostly because we needed an intro for you guys, as well as so you guys know what you're getting into before you tune into our very first episode when we stream it on Twitch.
Ooh, that's good.
Isn't it good?
That's really good.
My wife and I are a couple of coffee whores, don't mind us.
Anyway,
I will warn you now, this is going to be an 18+ discussion.
We could be just simply on the lines of neither of us have a filter.
Not only that, but a lot of the series we're going to be talking about are rated mature, either mature video games, mature shows, anime, whatever. We will be talking about some mature content, and we don't want anybody getting in trouble for that or anything like that, so for everybody's sake,
Viewer discretion is advised.
We'll be having a big old sign that says, viewer discretion advised, watch at your own risk. Oh, you're still going to watch? Okay, then.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, we are super excited to do this. A bunch of our friends have actually been super encouraging about it as well. And I am super excited to announce that once we finish getting it set up and everything, we're actually going to have a website as well.
Which will include our shops for our own artworks, our own merchandise, things like that. But first we need to get that off the ground.
Yeah, the website itself is a little tricky to get started because domains are unfortunately expensive. And we're in the process of getting it taken care of, but we're gonna, for the time being, just have a Facebook page up. That being said, we will be featuring our own artwork and such, but we also will have a spot in the middle of each show. Each show's gonna be about an hour long. We have to limit ourselves or we'll go on for like 6 hours.
We have before.
All I have to say is the drive to Santa Fe.
To be fair, that was like an hour 45.
I'm including the time driving to rodeo.
That was about an hour 45.
Either way. But if we don't limit ourselves to about an hour to maybe an hour and a half, we'll go on for way too long and you won't want to listen to us talk anymore. Trust me, I hate listening to myself talk a lot of the time. I actually hate listening to myself talk a lot. But a lot of people love hearing our theories and stuff, so we figured why not just put it out there for y'all to listen to.
And believe me, we have spent several nights staying up until 5 a.m. discussing our theories.
You guys want to hear proof of this? Hey honey, how's Lilith?
I will end you!
One of our first episodes, not the very first, but one of our very first episodes, like the first 5, is going to be Borderlands, which my wife has written a college-style essay on, in her beliefs of who is actually the villain and everything. We'll get into detail into that episode. But we just wanted to kind of give you guys a chance to get to know us. Like, what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be bringing to the table, so to speak, And from here on out, we're just gonna go over some quick things that we're both into real quick. Like, I'll go ahead and start because
Please do.
my wife is just staring at me like I'm going to kill you. So, for me, I guess you could say I was kind of born a nerd. When I was just a wee babby, I was introduced to the OG 60s Star Trek, the OG Doctor Who, Power Rangers, stuff like this. And I never really outgrew it. I'd have to say the series that really shaped me, though, and I know I'm going to catch critique for this, I know I'm going to catch hell for this. I don't care, I will stand by this till the day I die. There's an anime that just recently celebrated its 20th anniversary called One Piece. And I discovered it when I was at a really low time in my life. It came out when I was like 8 or 9 years old. I discovered it by accident because I was browsing. This was when we still had anime episodes on YouTube before copyright was an issue. And going back a ways there, I'm showing my age.
There we go. Let's show our age a bit here, love.
If
Thanks
y'all
for
can
making
guess,
me feel old.
if y'all can guess our ages, we'll give you guys a free spot or something.
Something.
We'll send you some free merch because we're getting that planned out too.
As soon as we actually get merch set up.
Yeah, it'll be a few episodes, but we'll get there. But anyway, I had discovered this anime called One Piece, which, yes, it has almost 1,000 episodes. Yes, it's going on for 20 years. I still watch it religiously to this day. You can ask my wife. As soon as there's a new episode, I lock myself in the bedroom and I watch it.
This is true, actually. I have to be like, hey, are you using the TV in the bedroom? Yeah, okay, I'll be out here.
Literally, it'll be, I'm busy, or, babe, it's One Piece day.
Yeah, and I'll grab the Switch and be like, have fun.
Yep. But for me, that was the series that really solidified my my nerdiness because it has some wonderful storylines. It is long, but it's meaningful. Everything they say in there has got so much in-depth heart and soul. Each storyline, as ridiculous as it is, has a purpose. And that really pushed me to better myself as a person, because even at 9 years old, I will admit I was a little shit. I got into a lot of trouble as a kid. But from there on, I discovered other stuff like Yu Yu Hakusho. I discovered my love of JRPGs. I remember playing, because I was a gamer long before I was an anime nerd. I remember when the first ever Resident Evil came out. And my stepdad at the time had taken me to the midnight release because he couldn't get a babysitter. He didn't want to leave me home alone. So he took me to the midnight release, held me on his back, and just waited in line so he could get his copy of Resident Evil. It's great. And I never told him that I beat it by the time I was 8 years old. But yeah, that's a thing.
We both of us here love Resident Evil. It's our religion at this point. So,
yeah,
that will be its own episode.
Yeah, no, each fandom itself is going to be its own episode because each of us could go on for days about our shared fandoms.
Oh yeah, but that's another time.
Yeah.
And we also plan on doing, well, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead, honey.
We also plan on doing, maybe not weekly, but when we can, because we still have our day jobs, doing live streams of games together.
Once we have a capture card, because right now the only capture card I had got busted, unfortunately, but it's technology. It happens. That being said, my top 5 fandoms across everything have got to be at number 5, Fairy Tail. I will fully admit I am Fairy Tail trash. I will go down with my guild. Number 4 would have to be Final Fantasy / Kingdom Hearts because I count them in the same fandom.
They're the same universe, I think.
They are. They actually have Cloud and Sephiroth in the first 2 games.
Yeah,
it's great.
they do.
And then they bring in Final Fantasy X, and that's a whole nother episode. Number 3, I would have to say would be Doctor Who. Because I can quote the classic 9 Doctors by heart.
It's beautiful, actually.
Number 2 would have to be Resident Evil. Partially just because I love Albert Wesker and I will die for him. And number 1, as I have already stated, is One Piece. That will always be my number 1 fandom till the day I die. Honey?
Hi, I'm Luna. Again, I am Cam's wife. I don't know how to do introductions very well, so I'm just gonna go.
We're kind of winging this, don't judge us.
We're gonna go into this. I was also kind of born into a nerdy family, more or less.
Some quick backstory, I bonded with my future father-in-law by making really bad Firefly jokes.
Your now father-in-law, love.
I'm talking about at the time he was my future father-in-law.
Yeah, duh. We're on our first cup of coffee, don't judge us.
Anyway.
So, I would watch a lot of things like NCIS and Blue Bloods, things like that with my mom and dad. And when I was younger, I was watching X-Files with them.
Hey, X-Files is like the best OG sci-fi ever, though.
It is. I really love the OG X-Files.
They have it on Hulu.
We need to watch
That'll be an episode we do.
We'll do an
X-Files
X-Files episode.
X-Files tribute episode. Anyway.
But I loved X-Files, things like that, and I never really got into horror, like the horror genre, until I was maybe about 14. Just because I will admit I was very sheltered growing up, and we didn't exactly like watch R-rated movies or play mature-rated games for a long time. One of my first introductions to the horror genre was Resident Evil, and I found it kinda, you could say, by accident. I was over at a friend's house. I don't even remember who it was, but I was over at a friend's house, and they were playing Resident Evil, and it just struck a chord with me. And I've been a real huge fan ever since. But going on to like different fandoms, once I reached high school, I grew up watching the Studio Ghibli movies because my dad introduced me to them. He absolutely is wonderful. Hi, Dad, I love you.
Hi, Mr. Rin.
And then a cousin of mine actually introduced me to Tokyo Mew Mew. And
God, I feel old.
That was the first anime I ever watched, knowing it was anime.
If any of y'all know Tokyo Mew Mew, if you are from the OG days of Tokyo Mew Mew, go ahead and leave a comment, and we will find a way to give you a shout out on the first episode.
Yeah, no, we and this was that was my first anime knowing it was anime, and because I don't exactly count like Sailor Moon or Pokemon.
Sailor Moon is kind of hit or miss when it comes to that stuff. Like, Sailor Moon is OG anime as long as it's not the English dub. Because, that was totally her cousin.
Yeah. But, going on that, I was really introduced to things like that at a very, I guess, low point of my life. I was suffering from a severe depression at the time, and I went down a rabbit hole, and the next one I watched was Death Note, so going back a ways, but if I hadn't watched it, I wouldn't have been introduced to other ones that I absolutely adore, like one of my personal favorite animes, and I would probably say my favorite anime is Bungo Stray Dogs.
Oh boy.
And
oh boy.
I wouldn't have that if it weren't for, like, my dad and my cousins. But my top 5. Okay, let's go. Number 5 would have to be Resident Evil. Just because it is a personal, like, close one of mine.
Mm-hmm.
A third a fourth? My bad. I'm tired.
First cup of coffee, don't judge.
Would have to be Borderlands.
Fair, which will be one of our very early on episodes.
It may be our first or second, let's be real.
Probably second.
Yeah, either that one or Resident Evil. But,
we'll flip a coin.
Third is going to have to be, probably Kingdom Hearts. Second is Bungo Stray Dogs. And first, you're not going to be surprised by this one, but my favorite series, the one that actually saved me, is Persona.
Egads, Persona's your number 1? I never saw it coming!
Well, to be fair, I haven't talked about it on here until right now.
Oh yeah, no, but, like, to be fair, hun, I wish I had a camera, you guys, because I would show you all the Persona stuff my wife has collected so far, and she has more on the way.
I do, actually. Persona is one of those that came to me at a time in my life where I really needed it, and
it was like One Piece with me.
It was, and it was Persona 4, specifically. And don't be surprised with our Persona episode if we're making a lot of Hi, I'm Daisy references.
when we get to 4, that's probably all we're gonna be doing is the Hi, I'm Daisy comic, which we'll link that when we do that episode. We'll give her a shout out and put a link to the video because it is comedic gold.
It is, especially in the Persona fandom. Like,
so that's
Aaron Fitzgerald Aaron Fitzgerald and Yuri Lowenthal have T-shirts that say "Trial of the Dragon" on them.
Trial of the Dragon. Anyway, so that's a little bit about us and what we're gonna be doing. Real quick, I do want to point out that once we have the logistics figured out, we will actually be doing guest spots where we'll have like a 5-minute, basically like on radio shows where they have you can call in and give your opinion. We'll be doing something very similar to that. Before the episode, we'll put out a Twitter notification that we're going to be having 3 or 4 people on there to talk for a couple minutes. And if we get a certain amount of people, we'll probably end up pulling them at random just to ensure that everybody gets a chance to talk, stuff like that, or we'll do a cutoff. We also plan on doing I wish I had air horn noises, but I just did the Mark Beeks thing. That was terrible. I'm so sorry. We've been on a DuckTales kick, but anyway.
Another episode that we will talk about. We will talk about the OG to the new one.
That entire episode we've already discussed is going to be the old versus the new. Mm-hmm. Glom gold.
You know what? We might have to have our friend Sam come in for that episode.
Oh, we'll have to. If not, we can have him call in.
Yeah.
Anyway, but for the air horn thing, I was trying to do the big entrance for, we're going to do a Fan Art Friday. And what we're going to be doing is we'll be giving out hey, this is next week's episode. If you want, submit some fan art, and we'll show it during the quote-unquote intermission. The pause where we refill our coffee and
pet the cats, make
sure they don't try to murder us in our sleep for ignoring them.
I swear they're going to break down that door in any moment.
I'm just waiting for it. I'm waiting for Obi-Wan to pop in like, here's Johnny! But we do plan on doing a Fan Art Friday kind of deal, where Friday, after the episode or during the episode, we will announce what the next week's theme is going to be, and that will give you a chance to submit your artwork. Also, speaking of artwork, we are also planning on doing a spotlight. So, like most podcasts, how they have their sponsors and everything, we're going to be having a small spotlight sponsor section that's like, 5-10 minutes, where we can talk about some artists and some other podcasts, other Twitter users, stuff like that. People who want to get their small business or whatever out there.
Or people that we think deserve it.
Oh yeah, no, that's actually, I was getting to that section here in a second. So the spotlight sponsorship is, if you guys want us to give you a shout out, let us know. It'd be like a $5 fee.
It's not a lot.
It's like $5 for like a month-long sponsorship.
It'll basically, the $5 or whatever, however much you want to give to us, it will even put a donation, will also help us get our shop off the ground.
Yeah, because we want to give you guys a chance to buy our merch. We want you guys to give a chance to, we'll be making stickers. Eventually we'll have shirts, stuff like that. The $5 fee for sponsorship spotlights is going to go to helping us get our merch off the ground, get, if we have equipment problems, get that replaced, stuff like that.
Okay, because I can tell you guys right now, we need a new printer.
We do need a new printer, but that's not an essential right now.
It's not, but the essential that we have is getting our shop off the ground itself.
Yeah. In order for us to sell our stickers and stuff, we'll need to get our shop off the ground, but that will come later on. We'll probably end up setting like a Patreon or something up.
Probably.
We'll figure something out for that. We'll make it easier for you guys, and we'll have all the links posted and all that.
And anyone who does decide to become a patron will get monthly things. Like, we'll have a list of our patrons,
We'll do a list of our patrons at the end, kind of like how they do in the Random Encounters video. It's like, special thanks to our patrons, blah, 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 and especially this one.
Specifically
that guy with the name.
Yeah. And then, I also plan on getting out, sample merch to our patrons.
Yeah, so if you do become a patron, you'll get, like, some free stickers. We'll be doing some,
I want to try to get pins.
Self-portraits, but we'll be doing artwork of each other to turn into stickers.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, like, I'll be drawing my wife in my style, and she'll draw me in her style. Stuff like that. And, we have an icon, we have a banner and all that, and you'll basically get like, a goodie bag of, like, a couple of pins, some stickers, maybe a shirt if we have those.
That's only if we can get them by that time.
Yeah,
Because
we're gonna
those
have
are
to.
expensive and hard to make.
It'll be a little bit before those rewards are available, but once we have enough of a backing, the patrons who were there, the OG patrons, will be the first to get the merch.
Mm-hmm.
We just need a little help getting our feet off the ground. We'll still be doing this regardless. It'll just take us a bit before we can do the freebies and all that.
It will, but at the same time, if you do decide to become a patron, anything like that, we really appreciate it because
From the bottom of our hearts.
This has been something that we've been talking about and we've been wanting to do for a long time now, and the fact that we're able to do it now means a lot.
We have tried to pull every string the past year, and every time we've started to sit down to get this going, get it off the ground,
something came up.
It was either financial, or at the time our location wasn't the greatest. You know, it was this, that, or the other. And now that A, our work schedules are balancing out finally, and B, we have the equipment and we have the ability to do it now, we just want to have fun talking nerd with you guys and share that with the world.
And we look forward to sharing this all with you.
Genuinely. That being said, we will also have a Discord server set up where you guys can join if you'd like. It's not required, but if you'd like, you can join. You can talk about the week's episode.
Maybe make suggestions once
we'll have a suggestions channel where you guys can post, like, you know, once or twice a week, post a couple of suggestions here and there. Voice your opinions on something we said, and that's also how we'll be doing our guest call-in. Is we'll call somebody on Discord, talk to them for a few minutes, thank them, and then
once we get our internet settled, jeez.
Yeah, Xfinity's having some issues right now. It's not Xfinity's fault, it's technology. It sucks.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that our area is kind of a dead zone anyway.
Rewinding just a little bit, when I was talking about the Spotlight sponsorship, my wife brought up something else that was super awesome. We plan on doing, once a week, a raffle of sorts, where we pick a bunch of artists or podcasters or small local people who are using their passion to try and make a living in general, and giving them a huge shout out. Mm-hmm. Like, we'll be picking it at random. It's people that we're actually fans of. Fans, acquaintances, maybe a friend.
I can tell you right now, I can name about 4 people that deserve that.
We have like half a notebook full, and I'm talking a college notebook full of names that we want to give shout outs to, but we don't want to do an entire episode that's just shouting out names, you know?
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 an episode, and then we'll go from there.
But if that's something that interests you guys, if you want to sponsor us, if you want to become a part of our Patreon, anything like that, please let us know.
I will be getting our Patreon off the ground. Probably, I will be setting it up today, and once it's verified, it'll be probably up and running.
24 to 48 hours.
It'll be up and running by this coming Friday, the 11th.
Perfect.
It should be up and running by this Friday, our Patreon.
And we planned on doing our first episode Friday anyway.
We're both off.
Yep, that's why we have the same day off for a change. Holla fucking
Look at the calendar, love.
I know.
We have Fridays consecutively off.
Yeah, so Fridays, and on top of that, we don't go to work till noon anyway.
Noon at the earliest.
Yeah, so Fridays are going to be our tentative podcast dates. If anything changes, we will be letting you guys know. But Fandoms and Coffee is officially getting started, folks.
Yay!
And
it's about damn time.
Another reason we need Patreon is coffee is not cheap.
It's not. And I don't especially the ones we like. It's like $16 for a bag.
Which, it's worth it.
But we also ground our own beans.
We've gotten spoiled because a wedding gift was an antique hand coffee grinder, and that hits different.
It does. It's great.
But we will be shouting out whatever brand coffee it is we're drinking, especially if it's a local brand, because we try to support local as best we can. We're both local, so it's a little tricky to try and support local when, you know, local's a little harder to get.
Especially for those who aren't local.
If
anybody who wants, like, local coffees and stuff, hit us up.
We'll have an option on our page that says, ship me New Mexico goods.
Yep.
For those who didn't know, we're based out of New Mexico.
We are. We're based out of the metro part of Albuquerque.
Yep, and because of that, we can, as long as you guys send us the shipping fees and the cost of the item and everything, we will gladly send you a New Mexico care package. It's actually going to be an option on our shopping page.
And on our Patreon.
And our Patreon as well. One of our options for our Patreon will definitely be shop local, shop New Mexico.
And I will say right now, guys, Rio Grande Pinon Coffee is the best. It hits different.
That one's up there. But I actually have to...
okay, I wouldn't say the best, but it's up there. It's the
I was
first one
gonna
that
say,
comes to mind.
I have to counter that slightly because as much as Rio Grande Coffee is great and all, the actual Pignon brand, based out of Truth and Consequences.
Oh, I love that one.
It's just hard to find in Albuquerque because
every time it goes up, like...
every time it gets stocked, it's gone.
It's gone within 24 hours.
But yeah, no, if you guys have any pointers, if you have any ideas, or if you want to get involved...
This is our first podcast we've ever done, so we will definitely need tips.
Well, we're basically flying by the seat of our pants with this, but we're doing it in a way that we want your guys' advice. We want your help. We want you to be involved. We don't want you guys just to listen and to be like, oh, I like this episode. You should talk about this next week. No, if you have pointers, we will listen. Especially if you want to come on the next episode and talk turkey with us.
Yeah.
Or in this case, talk coffee with us.
Please.
I just found our next pin.
I will get on that design. I will get on that design.
You should see the spark in my wife's eye right there.
I have so much, because all of our merch is designed by me.
I give ideas.
You give ideas, but I
do
have
most
more
of the
time.
technical stuff.
Yeah, you do the technical stuff, and I do the designing. Our banner, our icon, every bit of merch that we're going to have is designed by me.
Yep, and once we get a little bit bigger and we have a little bit more of a fan base, we will totally have, a thing where it's like, oh, well, this month's special item has been designed by so-and-so. The proceeds go to them. Stuff like that.
Or like 75% of the proceeds because we need the...
Yeah, like, we'll give them most of the proceeds and save just enough for, like, the web fees or whatever.
Yeah. But
we want
I can't wait
to
get things like enamel pins out to you guys.
Enamel pins are expensive, but they're going to be so worth it.
They are, and I have a few designs already in mind.
Yeah, and they're not that hard to translate, because your designs are already the vector art, so it's easy enough to just slap those on a pin.
They are, and I just have to add light lining to them.
But a lot of what we're going to be talking about is mostly, because my wife and I, as much as we love each other, and it is till death do us part, she burned the receipt to make sure of it.
Not yet, it's still right there.
Well, now you're just getting sloppy. But as much as we love each other and we agree on a lot of things, there's a lot of things we don't agree on.
This is very much true. Especially when it comes to different parts of our own fan bases.
Persona being one of them.
Persona being one of them. I am very one way, he is very the other. And it would be nice to have like a middle ground. You know what? I think I know exactly who to bring in for the Persona episode.
Sarah?
Pure.
True.
My
so
friend.
we have a friend that we can actually call in for the Persona episode.
I just have to make sure that they're free.
Oh yeah. But a lot of what our talks are going to be are, because we have a lot of matching fan theories.
Mm-hmm.
We also have some that are not quite so matching, like Akechi's not actually the villain.
I will. Okay. That's gonna be its own episode.
I'm probably going to end up sleeping on the couch tonight, just so you guys know.
Oh no, not tonight. When that episode happens, you're sleeping on the porch.
Yes, dear. Not even a month in and she's already got me trained.
I had you trained like a year ago.
But we're going to be bringing in some of our friends every now and then if it's a subject that they are super keen on. And, by the way, guys, it's spooky season!
Yeah!
I don't care what anybody says, September 1st is the start of Halloween. And because of that, we are going to be doing a lot of spooky episodes. And come this year on Halloween, we will actually be doing a Halloween special.
Yes.
We will be doing a Halloween morning broadcast. That's probably going to be just a general discussion of our favorite, and you can date me if you want, 90s and early 2000s Disney Halloween specials, Halloween movies in general, and Halloween
Those
games.
Good.
You know what I realized today? Most kids did not grow up on Halloween Town, and it shows.
You're right!
Like,
and another one that shows is, it's not my favorite by any means, but it's one that I think about every once in a while, is Twitches.
Okay, Twitches hit different.
It did.
We're going to be doing an entire Halloween episode on nothing but the OG Disney Halloween movies. Because, let's face it, Disney Channel, back in the day, had some jammin' Halloween movies.
Do you see my mug?
If you guys, just so you guys know, my wife's mug has the incantation from Hocus Pocus that turns Binks into a black cat. As I sit here sipping from my friend's coffee mug, and yes, we will have an entire episode based off of Friends. You can judge me all you want.
Joey, don't share food!
Hey, babe. It's Tribbiani.
I will end you! Anyway, we're coming up on half an hour on this, before or editing.
We're going to go ahead and call it here, because this is just an intro to get to know us, get to know what we're talking about. We'll have all the information about sponsorships and everything up on our Patreon once we have that up and running. We will also have a Facebook page where you guys can go and, vote on some of our polls and stuff. I'm actually going to be starting up a Twitter that's going to be just for the Coffees and Fandom podcast. And in closing, we're super glad we're able to do this. We were actually super excited once we realized we had the ability to, and we had everything in place finally.
Yeah, because, part of the reason we're doing it now is for our wedding. I'm going to give them a quick little thing. My aunt and cousin got us a desk.
We actually have a computer desk, so we can actually have our recording equipment set up properly. And we don't have to worry about the cats knocking it over. We can actually, set our stuff up without having to worry about the animals being a problem.
Not that they usually are, but...
For you.
Yeah, you're right. They did almost destroy my tablet pen, and I almost skinned them. Not really. I love my animals, I swear.
We say a lot of that stuff out of just wisecracks and stuff, so you'll hear a lot of stuff. I promise we're not actually abusive. If anything, I used to work for Animal Humane. I worked for them for 8 years. I would never harm an animal.
No, we just...
I also do not condone animal abuse. If I find any of you guys are abusing animals, I will make sure that it is legally taken care of.
Oh, same. Yeah, no, but anyway,
we're super, super happy we're able to finally do this.
We are. And we look forward to interacting with you guys and getting to know you guys as well as you guys getting to know us more.
And Uncle Tony, I know you're going to be listening to this. Yes, we will do a Ruby episode.
Just not right away. Cause
that one we're going to have to compile. That's probably going to be a 2-parter, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Or that's going to be one of the 2-hour specials.
Crying. Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to get going. Thank you guys for checking us out. We look forward to seeing you guys on Friday when we do our inaugural episode of Fandoms and Coffee. This is Cameron.
This is Luna.
We love you guys. We'll see you guys soon.